Ladies and gentlemen, please be aware that foul language is prevalent within the following production. Have a nice day.
Hey everybody, welcome back to the Offenders Podcast. As always, I'm Ty, joined by my co-host, Evan.
And a long time ago, I was in the Hate God Squad with Shane Tipton, who is sitting to my left.
I was in the Hate God Squad?
Yep, and Ryan and Mondo.
I think I was his president at meetings for the free hot dogs.
Yeah, okay. So we got two of the Hate God Squad here.
He wasn't a card-carrying member. He just attended.
I just attended.
He never paid.
You had the ring, didn't you?
There was a ring?
Yeah, it was the Death's Head ring. We had a Death's Head ring that we bought from that shitty Halloween store in the mall before it moved. They were like $1, and we all bought one.
Maybe I did. I don't know. I was maybe possessed by the devil since, I hated God.
I found the ring, and I was like, oh shit, the Hate God Squad.
Oh, that's where this... Okay, I don't even remember this. This is amazing.
Mm-hmm. It's called getting old. Happens to the best of us. But enough of that. I have some important things to talk about before we get into the meat and potatoes here today. Number one, a girl touched my dick last night.
On purpose or accident?
Yes, on purpose.
Okay.
Unlike the last time that I mentioned that a girl almost touched my dick where she was drunk and she sat on my knee and touched my inner thigh, this woman actually walked up and put her finger on my penis through my shorts. I could feel the warmth of her finger on my dick. Both fingers. And there's a picture of it on Facebook to prove it.
Wow. Just out of nowhere?
Okay, yeah.
So you guys can be happy for me.
Wait, no. You can't just give me the fucking end of the Why?
Yeah, I mean, it's like, was it just like some random drunk woman stumbles up, it's like, there's a dick in them pants, touch, walks away.
She wanted to send a text to her friend showing how much fun she was having to make her jealous. She's like, can I touch your dick? And I said, you don't even have to ask.
Oh, she asked permission. Well, that's good. Mm-hmm. It's not. I was always wondering if some woman just walked up just like, dip. Okay.
Possibly acceptable, depending. There's some criteria that need to be met. But the point is, a girl touched my dick on purpose last night, and it was great.
For this specific reason.
For that specific reason.
This is fantastic.
She could have chosen any of the other dicks.
Because now I'm imagining that, like, did she take a picture of it?
Yes, I have.
So that's where the picture came from. So now I'm imagining she takes the picture, and she immediately starts texting. It's like, well, look what you're missing. It's like, it's like, there's something missing in your life. I'm just going to make up a name. Haley, I can't put my finger on it. Yes, I can. That's what I'm imagining.
Well, and I want to specifically point out, if you look at the picture, the finger is directly on my dick.
Okay.
Where the other person, the hand is on the sweatshirt. No dick contact. So I'm clearly the winner of the day.
The real question with all this, though, is, did you fuck her right in the pussy?
I was thinking about it a whole lot, considering the fact that she touched my dick, but she was drunk and I would have felt terrible. So instead, I just talked to her all night long and got some phone numbers.
Oh, well, okay.
So I made some. You can't cross a bridge till you build it, So that's number one.
Okay. Well, thanks for that insight into your Saturday evening.
Yes. And number two also has to do with my Saturday evening. Have you guys heard of Haunted Montrose?
Yeah, I've seen a billboard for it or something.
It is a giant haunted house in the middle of nowhere. It's like a barn/house that you walk through. And then you go to this abandoned school, and you walk through the abandoned school. Then you walk through this pitch black maze where you're basically just walking face first into these black walls, and you can't see shit because it's nighttime.
Sounds fun.
Man, it was amazing. So,
did your dick get touched there too?
Not on purpose.
Bad touch.
I did get close enough to smell somebody's Apollo Axe body spray who worked there, and I made sure to let them know. But the best part of the whole night was I was walking through, one of the best parts was I was walking through and this guy goes, I'm going to kill you. I was like,
No, let's start a death metal band instead.
And he goes, fuck yeah. And he totally breaks character. He's like, man, that's the best thing I heard all day. So that totally made my night. The serial murderer in the abandoned school decided to start a death metal band with Stranger.
That would be a hell of a metal band. Like, imagine like all the old like 80s horror characters all together.
Dude, it was great. And the girl that I went with was scared to death of clowns, and there was a whole clown room, so she was just like fingers deep into my rib cage, clutching me for dear life as if we were riding a motorcycle on a fucking trapeze.
Okay.
It was so great. That's a very short ride on the motorcycle, but you get what I'm saying. But anyway.
My brain, by the way, always... Well, no, this is actually technically true.
That's a good way to begin the story. My brain, by the way.
Yeah. No, the things I think of in situations, I mean, that's a funny situation, but have you ever thought about what a terrible idea that is to do?
No, please elaborate.
So here's the thing. The person you want to protect you, right? Mm-hmm. You grab onto them, right? They can't move. So they can't protect you because they can't move. They can't get in to punch. You got to go back and forth. Let go. You can stand behind me, but let go.
See, logic goes right out the door because she can't even say the word clown. She can't even say the fucking word. It's that bad.
Man, that reminds me of a girl I knew who was like that, but it was with dolls, like those weird little porcelain dolls. Like she'd just freak out, start screaming if she saw them. So one time, what people did was they got a magazine of these dolls and they cut out all the faces of them. Yes. And they put them all over the place. Like they put them in her purse, on her driver's license. They put them like in places where she would see when she was at work, like shuffling through the money, and just like a doll's face in there.
Jesus!
And like they put them in her, like when she takes the gas cap off, there's one in the gas cap. So like for like weeks she was finding these, and like she thought she finally found all of them until she went to go buy cigarettes, and she hands the guy behind the counter her ID, and he's like, this isn't you. And she's like, oh yeah, it is. And she takes a look and she sees it and just screams because there's a doll's face that's been taken over hers on it.
That is magnificent.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
Jeez.
Speaking of magnificent, let's talk about the magnificent time we had at Anime Week in Atlanta.
Hell yeah. You took notes this year.
Yes, I did. I was inspired by somebody far greater than myself to write down the things that were very funny. So I'll just kind of go into it. Instead of just going Thursday through Sunday, we're just going to kind of remember shit as we talk about it.
Yeah.
Okay, so number one, we're sitting in the Tenchi Muyo Madness panel. Which was great.
It was. That was probably the only panel we attended that didn't have technical problems.
Yes, it went fine. The presenters were a little weird looking, but that's okay.
But the thing is with the presenters,
They were aliens.
They could have been. But they actually were knowledgeable about Tenchi, and like to the point where like they made me interested enough where it's like, I haven't watched it in a long time. I really need to go back now that I know what the fuck is going on and like actually try to watch some of it.
Because I thought it was like Tenchi Muyo, Tenchi Universe, and Tenchi in Tokyo. That's it. Nope, there's like 10 series. Also, El Hazard is in the Tenchi Muyo universe, and I own El Hazard, and I had no idea.
There's another one too where it's his cousin. I don't remember the name of it, but he has a cousin that's technically in that unit. It's Tenchi's cousin. He has a similar situation, and he uses some kind of mech.
Yeah. That's that might be the one where it's like a spoof of Evangelion.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. That was discussed. So we found out about all these awesome ones, but then this guy, easily 45 years old, about 300 pounds, about 5'8", waddles in. But before he arrives, his stench greets us. We're like, what the fuck is this smell? And then we see this guy sit down and immediately take off his Velcro strap shoes.
Yep.
And stench intensifies.
He had freaky small feet too for somebody his size. Like it was like him walking. He was walking on toothpicks.
And they were talking about that was bad enough as it is. But then this happens. They're talking about Pretty Girl Sammy, which, as you know, is Sasami, who is a child, regardless of her age. and they talk about her transformation sequence, and when she gets naked, and this guy goes,
Well,
and then they later on...
Wait, no, I gotta stop you. Was that the actual noise?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
It was burned into my
Whenever
memory.
they discussed Sasami, he would do weird movements and noises.
Yes.
Hmm.
Especially when they brought up a game where Sasami is involved in some adult situations, which they were pointing out was wrong. Because that is wrong, because she looks like a kid. And he was like, but she's 300 years old. And I was like, get me out of this fucking room right now. I can't take this shit. But nobody said anything. Aside from me and everybody else looking at each other and whispering, what the fuck? Each individually, upon eye contact, what the fuck?
Yeah, like, I think...
As it spread through the crowd through eye contact.
Yes. It was a silent wave of what the fuck.
I think me and Evan have reached this point, too, because we've been to enough times, where, like, something will happen,
So true.
and we'll just kind of both look, like, he was sitting behind me during this, and I just kind of looked back over my shoulder, and we caught each other's eyes, and we both knew what we were looking at each other for that very moment. And we both kept from bursting out laughing because we knew. You know?
Oh, man.
And we do that at all these cons now. Like, somebody will say or do something, and we just kind of do that look like, mm-hmm.
There's nothing better than that.
Yes.
After a while of knowing someone and in certain situations you learn that, it always reminds me of the time. I can't remember what movie we were watching, but I think you were there too, Kyle. It was me and you and Chris Lewis and somebody. I remember we went to this movie. I don't remember what it is anymore. But we're sitting there, and I'm sitting next to Chris. And when the movie's on, and there's these people behind us just constantly fucking talking. Which is fine, because the movie hasn't started. Mm-hmm. But behind us, me and Chris hear, yeah, we're going to text each other during the movie. And as soon as we heard it, we both looked right at each other. And we kind of, narrow our eyes at the same time. And we don't say anything. And at the very same time, we coordinated, look to the people behind us and just look them right in the face. And they're looking right back at us. And we just look back forward. I didn't hear anything from them. But it's just amazing. It's just like, you hear it and you're just like in perfect synchronicity.
The silent transmission.
Another time, there's another time that happened at AWA this year with me and Evan. Was it when the woman fell? Like, all I remember is like a bunch of us are standing around, and like she fell, and like we all try not to laugh. But me and Evan just looked at each other because it's like we saw it coming. Because she got the wobble ankles going. Where it's like you see her ankles are like she's going down, man. She's going down. And you're waiting for the moment where she falls.
It sounded like a gigantic fucking horse approaching us. It was like, boom, 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 boom. It's like you see it, and there's nothing you can do. Just watch.
Yeah.
It's like boom, boom. This is gonna be great. Boom, boom. She looked so pretty in that kimono on the way down, though, didn't she? That was a gorgeous kimono that she had.
All right.
And did you catch the guy when the escalator stopped working, and he just fell, and nobody else did?
Yeah.
That was so great. And it was a slow fall, too, because I think it was because he was wearing, like, some sort of armor, so he couldn't react. So you just see his head moving so slowly, like he's leaning down to pick up his tennis shoe off the ground. But he never comes back up. And everybody's like, Jimmy! And he's already gone.
Yep.
It was so fucking great. It was so amazing to see somebody fall that slow, man. Let me tell you, that was outstanding.
All right, Evan. So what else is on your list?
Well, let me look at it. Oh, we were watching. It's one of the Dave guy, the old AWA founders panels. It was like
Was it
manga. The what?
Was it totally lame anime? Was it?
Nuh-uh. This was the one that we went to, and it was just like a bunch of weird anime from the 80s that nobody knew about, and we were watching it. And there was this old man sitting in front of us. And Sean was sitting in front of me. I was sitting in front of you, and then I think Giff and Jacob were to my right.
Oh, yeah. I forgot all about that panel.
So we're sitting there, and we're watching this shit. And, we all kind of have the Mystery Science Theater 3000 thing in ourselves, where you make some commentary that's funny.
Yes.
Well, this guy had previously come into little conversation with Sean throughout the whole thing.
And he was talking like this. I believe this is a spin-off of Bubblegum Crisis.
And this dude's like easily 60 or 70 years old. White hair, old man. So he starts doing the commentary. And it was the stupidest shit that I have ever heard. Like, it would be a girl walking into school, and he'd be like,
I'm walking into my classroom.
What? Then 5 minutes later, she would be making a sandwich, and he'd be like, that's a sandwich. It was the most awkward.
Oh my god!
I didn't really know what he was saying because like he was like two rows in front of me, but I could see he was being weird. But the reason I didn't know what he was saying is because the guy behind me was being weird as fuck. It was once again. So hold on. So far, all of our weird stories are about old people at AWA. All right. The person behind me is a man and a woman. It was an older couple, and they were basically bitching the entire time at each other. Like, the woman didn't want to be there, but the man was just like, well, just get up and go then. Just get up and go. And she's like, no, I'll just wait till it's done, and then we'll leave. Well, at some point, the door to the panel room closed, and it was locked, so the people outside couldn't come in. And so they were trying to open it, or to get somebody's attention, the inside open it, and the guy goes and, like a dickhole at the door, says, what's the password? And then somebody's like, open the door. And he opens it, and then he starts yelling at them. He's like, well, you don't need to be rude. If it wasn't for me, the door wouldn't be open. And he just goes off on these people in the back of this room while the panel is still going on in the front. And the people
Very loud.
Very loud. Yeah, it wasn't kind of like whisper yelling. It was like, this dude was just yelling at these people. But I'll give it to the guy running the panel. He just ignored it and just kept going.
100%.
Yeah.
So that
I don't remember what the panel was about because of all that weirdness going on in there.
It was just about like lesser known anime from the 80s that kind of got lost in the wash. Sean knew a good bit of them, and it said that some of them were okay. Some of it was funny, but it's just weird because I'm a person who likes to analyze humor. I like to understand why things are funny. And this guy was just like laughing at stuff. He'd be like, a school bus would go by, and he'd be like, that is a school bus driving by.
My God, are you serious? Is this the level?
Yes.
Oh my God, I can't imagine.
It hurt my life.
That's the same. I'm with you because I do this. I look at, I pay attention to why things are funny, and sometimes I will laugh at stuff. But sometimes I can get a joke before it's finished because I can see where it's going and stuff like that. But I can't imagine that, and it's really bad about the situation because, like, I don't want to be an asshole to people who aren't funny. Yes. But it's painful, kind of. I mean, anybody who's really good at something, I mean, I'm no genius. There are comics that are funnier than I am and stuff, but, you know, it's like the kind of thing where if you put in ceiling tile, like Ryan was talking about when he was doing construction, he put in ceiling tile. People don't pay attention to it. But he would look up and he'd look at it and be like, ceiling tile is all wrong.
Yes.
That happens when you hear something, and it's like, if it was bad humor, you could still do it well enough to be funny. But this wasn't even humor. I've never heard anyone fail to have anything funny about it.
But he found humor in it.
I don't get how with this. What mentality makes a school bus funny?
It's like he's like you ever notice like you'll be in a theater and everybody will laugh at all of the same stuff except for one guy who won't laugh at anything. It's like there is some sort of skewed mutation in their brain.
Now this makes me wonder what this person's life is like. So perhaps a common day for him, he gets up in the morning, he gets hit in the face with a pile from a clown. It's happened every day of his life, Evan. That shit's not funny. Don't laugh. Every day. It happens. He goes outside. The sunlight is pink. A dog pisses on him, but he pisses Kool-Aid, so it's okay. You know, it's not disgusting. And then he gets there. He gets to this panel, and a school bus goes by. He's never seen a regular school bus before. That shit's hilarious. That must be what his life is like.
That reminds me of a story that Jerry Seinfeld was talking about on one of the it's a web series called Comedians in Cars Getting Coffee, where he just goes with other comedians and they tell stories. And I think it was Louis C.K. were talking about this comedian they knew who on stage, he was so hilarious. Like, he was one of the funniest people they ever met, but off stage, he was the most boring man they've ever known in their entire life. It was like, it was all a job. And like, once he was off stage, he was off the clock. No funny at all. So then there's my other comedians who they knew that when on stage, they were horrible. Like, they were bad, but off stage, they were the funniest people they've ever met. It's like, they just couldn't get on the other side of it.
That is so weird.
Wow. Isn't it, though?
How does that happen?
I don't know.
So, moving on from weird old men.
I think that's really the extent of our weird old people stuff, because that was all on the first day within like the first 3 hours almost.
Yes. We're going to switch to other weird things now.
You forgot something. You went right to AWA. You forgot what we did the day before.
Well, please tell me, because obviously I've forgotten.
We went to get barbecue at Abdullah the Butcher's barbecue shop, and we ran into him.
Yes, we did.
I thought you were done with weird old men.
Man.
Well, compared to those other guys, he was fairly normal, truthfully. until we got him to call Mondo.
Dude, I'm not trying to make myself sound cool or sell myself here, but I've been there a bunch of times, and Abdul the Butcher recognizes me and Mondo every time we go in there. So he saw me, I went up and I was real respectful. Hello, sir, thank you, sir. You know, yes, sir, I bought the thing he was selling, and I told him Mondo was getting married, and he's like, first off, Abdul the Butcher, let's just throw this out there for the non-wrestling fans. He's about 6'2", 6'3", about 500 pounds. He has probably 8 or 9 gigantic indentation scars in his forehead from where he cuts himself open to bleed everywhere. He's notorious for stabbing people with a fork. Hence the name the Butcher. As if there are butchers that butcher with forks. But anyway, the point is, he's a bloody mess. He's this giant, intimidating beast of a man. However, when you meet him in person, he's not Abdullah from the Middle East.
He's a guy who talks like this.
He's from Minnesota?
He's from fucking, like, Minnesota or Canada or something, because he's like,
oh, hey, boys, how you doing there?
Yeah.
I'm glad to see you back at the restaurant.
and you're seeing there, and you're like, this is a rib. Somebody's playing a joke on me. He's got a voice box hidden somewhere.
That's hilarious. Would you boys like some pie?
And it's like, you get caught off guard by his very gentle, quiet northern accent, and then you're like, Mr. the Butcher, could we please have a photo? Of course. Come here. We'll pose for a photo right now. And he grabs you by your hair and puts you in the most tight arm like headlock that you've ever been in. You're like, fuck, he's going to kill me. And he takes the picture. He's like, was that good enough? And you're like, yes, sir. I thought you were going to break my neck. And he's like, ha, ha, ha.
Now,
So-
Evan,
Yes.
I know you were afraid of your life, but after this way of speaking, if it really sounds like that, it's like when he said, and you missed this, and I'm ashamed of you. When he said, "How was that? Was that okay?" You should have said, "You did a good job."
Son of a bitch. I didn't think a coach seen when I should have. Shit. God damn it.
But when he finds out Mondo is
Getting married.
what did he do, Evan?
So I'm getting in the car, and he's like, I think it was Sean had his window down, and you just hear a faint whisper,
What's Pondo's phone number?
and Sean goes, I don't know Pondo's phone number. And I was like, oh shit! So I jump out of the Jeep and run all the way back over there. And I was like, Mondo's phone number is... I didn't say that, but I'm not going to put out his name, his fucking phone number on this podcast. So I give him the number, and he starts calling. I'm like, holy shit! Abdullah the fucking Butcher is calling Mondo for his wedding. So, hold on. I have to get my cell phone out. About 5 minutes pass by. We're driving down the road. I send Mondo a text message saying, hey, dude, Abdullah the Butcher's going to call you for your wedding. Nothing happens. I'm like, okay. He's probably still on the phone with him right now. That's cool. A few minutes later, I get a text message, which I can't fucking... Here it is. I get a text message from Mondo. And I have to scroll up. I'm sorry, there's a lot. It says, ha, 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 ha. At first, I didn't know who it was. Wow. But then he called me a cocksucker. Apparently, he's like, congratulations on your wedding, cocksucker. So can you just imagine in your life, you're at your job having fun, and you pick up the phone, and a wrestler from your childhood that you've always looked up to says to you, congratulations on your wedding, cocksucker.
There's a picture of Mondo and Abdul the Butcher hanging in Abdul the Butcher's barbecue place, might add, too.
That Mondo was nice enough to autograph for Mr. Abdullah the Butcher.
That is fantastic.
Yeah, it's pretty awesome. And
damn,
that barbecue was good.
That was
Those
kind of
ribs.
the opening. Actually, we did that Thursday night after we all pre-registered before we went to any AWA stuff. So I'm sorry to pull it back, but yeah. So
that was great because we got registered in about 10 minutes. It was super fast.
We just kind of hung out and just chit-chatted and everything after that. All right.
It was pretty good.
So what's next on your list of things?
So we're switching from weird old people to a weird encounter in the bathroom.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but the last con you went to, did you not have a weird bathroom encounter?
Kyle did.
Kyle, that was Kyle. So it was your turn.
But mine wasn't
Yes.
with the person. Mine was just heated
with
toilets.
the bathroom itself.
Yeah, it was heated toilets, so it made your butt sweat when you used them.
Yes. And I think this made my butt sweat a little bit because I was very nervous. So I'm standing at the counter where you wash your hands, there's a giant mirror, and I'm adjusting my nin mask because I had to get it right. I had to move the hearts around so I could see over them.
What a wonderful day.
Yeah.
As you can say, I was standing at the mirror adjusting my nin mask.
Yeah, that's just how fucking great life is. So I'm adjusting my nin mask, and this little guy walks up to me, and he's like,
Were you at MomoCon?
and I was like, yeah, what's up, dude? He's like, oh, I recognize you. You're Nin. I was like, hell yeah, I am. Thanks for recognizing me. And he's like, he stares at me. I'm going to stare at Shane, which you can't see. He's like this.
Oh, God.
He stares at me like this. God damn it.
La Blue Girl was my first Futanari anime.
Oh, dear Lord.
And stared at
that look.
Now,
With
hold
that
on.
look.
Hold on. For those of us who don't know what Futanari is, what is it?
Girl with an elongated clitoris or straight up dick.
Okay.
A girl with a dick. And after he says that, silence passes, which seemed to be eternity, but was in actuality about 5 seconds. And I was like, well, that's cool, man. Awesome. Yeah, I love that movie. It was awesome. Well, have a good con. And I walked out, and he's like, yeah, I also like Bible Black. As I'm walking out, and I'm just like, get me the fuck out of here. And I just like go back over there. And I was just like, oh, God, this is disgusting. I just got molested. What is...
This is amazing because I remember when we... the Spencer's incident.
Oh,
Or the guy walks up to Evan, and only you really need to see the face. So I apologize to people for that, but he puts his hand on Evan's shoulder, and with a look like if you've ever seen Anthony Robbins when he's giving like one of his motivational things, how he's got the big smile on his face when he's talking. Imagine that face.
Crazy eyes, intense smile.
So it's just like I need a cock. It's just that's what he comes up to.
His nose was almost Eskimo kissing me. That's how close he was. And his breath just hit me right in the face. I need a cock.
So
I'm
something about you, Evan, makes
Says
these
that you
people
need
who
a
are
cock.
interested in penises want to talk to you.
It's not
Wait,
just that.
there is that because the girl walked up and touched you on the dick. There's something about you and the thought of penis that goes together, Evan. Keep that in mind.
That's one more Spencer's, since we're bringing Spencer's back into the mix. One time I was vacuuming by the fucking body jewelry, and I look up, and there is a girl staring at me. Not great looking, not terrible, but she's staring at me. So I look at her, and I smile. And she, on the other side of this glass, puts her hands out and starts doing the air hump motion and points directly at me. And I'm fucking vacuuming at work, and I'm just like, thanks. Because it was still a compliment, I guess. Women don't usually hump the air and point at me.
You missed another opportunity.
This was like 20 years ago. This is 10 years ago.
You
I was super
missed
back then.
that. Oh my! What you should have done.
Teach me, sensei.
Have you not learned from when you were in grade school?
No, I haven't.
you should have looked at her while you're vacuuming, especially since it's noisy, and you should have mouthed the words, "I'm going to vacuum."
The telephone game. That is ingenious.
Because it's everybody in I don't know about recent, but when we were in elementary school, you learned that vacuum looks like fuck you if you don't hear the words. It was the perfect situation to do it. And if anyone called you on it, it's like, you said, "No, I'm going to vacuum." I was telling her I was too busy for her foolishness.
Yes, and those for her foolishness. See, that's why Shane is here, because he has the absolute perfect response for every situation you will ever be in. And then you're like, "Fuck, that is the right thing to say. Why didn't I think of that?" Because I'm not Shane. But thankfully we have him here. So that happened, and that really weirded me out. All of those really weirded me out. But not the girl touching my dick last night. I really enjoyed that. That was outstanding. Because she was really beautiful. And really, anyway. So, now, this is the last one on my list. So we may have to go to Kyle for some of his memories.
Okay.
So, in the Cobb Galleria Hotel, whatever it's called, I think it is the Marriott. What's the name of the hotel there?
Waverly.
In the Waverly, the lobby is where most of the cosplay stuff happens for pictures, and then you go outside and there's photo shoots. But most of the cosplayers just kind of hang out in that little lobby area. Really nice, really air conditioned. We stand there a lot. So, as I'm standing there, I'm looking at the elevators, because the elevators, much like at DragonCon, are the ones that are on the outside with the clear glass so you can see through it. And I'm looking at them, and Kyle and I discussed we have some pretty strange irrational fears. One of mine is standing in one of those outside escalators and waiting for it to get to the top and just stop working and die only because I'm in it.
You mean elevator, not escalator.
Elevator, yes.
Okay.
Elevator, thank you. So I'm like, we're just kind of standing around. I start walking off. They're like, "Where are you going?" I'm like, "I'm going to ride the elevator to the top and ride it all the way down." So I think I'm just going by myself.
No. That's not what you said. You said, "I'm going to go get on the elevator." And so that's why we followed you, because we were like, why is he getting on the elevator? Now, the reason I thought he was getting on the elevator is because seconds before this, I don't remember what she was cosplaying as, but some girl in this, like, super skimpy and tight outfit walked by, and we made a comment. And she looked like she was heading toward the elevator, so I thought Evan was going to go, "I'm going to go get on the elevator and ride it, too, since she's on there, so I can stare at her or something. Or I'm going to go stand below so I can watch the elevator as it goes up and hopefully sneak a peek or something." I didn't know. I thought that's what Evan was going to go do, so I was like, "I'll follow, because I'm not doing anything."
Totally feasible and 100% probabilities, but no. I just wanted to ride the top and ride all the way down. So we get on the elevator, and I'm like, "Oh, hey, guys." So we go all the way to the top, make some stops in between for all the stupid people who are just like, "Hey, blah, blah, let's go get drunk in your room, blah, whatever." So we're going all the way up, and we get to the very top, and nobody's in there except us. So I sit down, and I look directly out the window. I'm like, it's time for me to die. I've had a great day. I'm going to accept my death. So we ride down, and we go down, and I'm like, I'm fine with this. I'm good. And then the fucking thing stops.
One floor. He's going to see one floor.
One floor. The thing stops. And I'm like, shit. My death has been postponed. And a girl walks through. And as soon as I turn around to stand up, her butt goes right in front of my nose. Right as I'm standing up. She could have picked any other place to walk, but she put her butt right in front of my face. I didn't smell anything before he asked. So I was just like, that's awkward. It's not going to get much more awkward than that. And then I realized, poor Jacob. He had chosen the corner where nobody was, and that is exactly where they went. So you just look over at Jacob in his cosplay, curled up in this tiny ball of the corner of the escalator, trying not to touch these other people with his mohawk bent against the glass. And I see this, and I'm trying not to make it more awkward than it is by laughing out loud. So I see him, and I'm like, I cover it up with a cough, and he sees me laughing, and he starts to laugh because he realizes what kind of shit he's in. So we hold it in until they leave, and then we die laughing. But we don't die because the elevator broke, and my fear is now cleansed. I'm 100% cleansed of the fear. At least for now. Now, Kyle, why don't you discuss your irrational fear?
Oh, my irrational fear is walking over sewer grates or anything like that on the ground. I just have this fear, like the one day I decide to go walk across one, it's going to be like not on properly, and it's going to be like something Looney Tunes. It's going to spin, and I'm going to go falling down. Or like there's grates that like you'll step on them, and like they're not really even in the ground, so they rock, and it's just like a fear that it's just going to just collapse under me or something, and I'm going to fall in the sewers. And even if I don't fall in the sewers and die, I'm going to fall in the sewers, and I'm just going to be in the sewers, and it's going to suck.
Shane, do you have any irrational fears, like the one time this elevator, which has worked 500,000 times, is going to stop working because you're in it, or you're afraid to fall into the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles homestead?
No, nothing like that. Not really. No,
nothing at all.
Nothing.
See, not only
that.
is Shane the perfect.
That doesn't mean I don't worry about it. I just don't have anything like that. No, like irrational. Like, as a matter of fact, when I was thinking about the thing, like if I step off a grate and it rocks and it makes like a little clonk noise, I have the opposite problem. I'm like, moving it back and forth. So it's like, thump. So I'm more likely to fall into it than he is because I'll play with it when it happens.
This discussion of irrational fears goes back to the talk about the girl afraid of clowns and the girl afraid of dolls. It's like there's no reason why they're really terrified of these things, but they just are for some reason.
Yeah.
So.
But this is where we fix it. Anytime we walk anywhere, Shane walks in front of you, Kyle.
Because I'll set it off before you, because I'm going to mess with it.
Shane will be the failsafe. And if it falls out from under him, he will use his anything goes martial arts to catch himself on the way down and do a backflip.
If I'm using those, I better not fall in the water, because nothing good will come of that.
And he will look awesome, but he will sprain his ankle when he lands. And you'll see it for a split second on his face. Ooh, I'm fine. Everything's great. And we'll be like, whoa, Shane, cool. He did a backflip and didn't die. And then we'll turn around and he'll be like, ah!
I've done something like that before that I've told Evan knows about it.
Yep.
But I don't think I said it on the podcast before, so people can find out about it. So I was at the fair.
Yes!
Yes, it is. I'm at the fair in Perry. I'm going along, and there's this little short sign, and I'm walking along, and I don't know if I mentioned it before, but in my head, there's this voice, and it says to me, do you know what would be awesome? And then it says something, and occasionally I will listen to it, if it's not going to be anything, bad or terrible. So this little sign is like, it'd be awesome if I just jumped over this sign. Now, it wouldn't be awesome to anybody else. It's just awesome to me in my own head. So I go to jump over the sign, and my foot gets caught on the sign. And I just go, wham! Face first into the ground. I mean, immediately, so fast. And I hit the ground. Now, this isn't my planning. So I hit the ground, I immediately pop back up. I hold my arms out to each side. I'm like, thank you, next sir, at 12 o'clock. No one laughs because they think I did it on purpose. And I just walk away.
Oh man, that's like the clip of the guy who it's like this. I think he's Korean. And he's walking down the stairs and he suddenly trips and he goes to fall back, but he kind of rolls back and like he decided to suddenly sit down on these stairs and crouches down. Just play it off. Just gotta play it off.
Oh man.
I'm just gonna sit on these stairs while I was speedily going down them previously. God, please send me that video, Kyle.
I'll just find it.
I've done stuff like that before too. Some of it I do like when I was walking down the steps. I'm walking down these steps and I miss a step. And I go from the middle of the steps to the bottom of the steps. But I land on my feet. And I'm like, boom! And I stop like 3 inches from hitting something else. But at that point, it's already over. So I just walk off like nothing happened. I mean, there's nothing. We're so worried about it now.
The worst is when you miss that one step or your heel catches it and you get that quick vibration. You're like, and I'm just going, yeah. On the next step. And you're like, what the fuck just happened? I hit a rift in the fucking stair dimension.
That's your conscious mind being disconnected and your body being like, oh fuck, this is what we need to do.
Yeah. Oh man, that's awesome.
All right, so I'm trying to think of what else happened. That was Friday. That's when you dressed as Nin Nin, right?
Friday I was dressed as Friend. Saturday was Nin Nin.
Well,
yeah.
Well, on Friday, there's a couple of things I want to talk about with two of my favorite panels, usually. Totally Lame Anime and AMV Hell. Or Anime Hell, I'm sorry. Well, so the problem is that, like, this year, like, AWA moved a lot of stuff around, and I think the moving of stuff was good because things were in bigger rooms, more people were able to attend things. You didn't have to turn people away because, they usually turn people away for Totally Lame and Anime Hell, but they didn't have to this year. But then again, the problem is that there were so many tech problems, like, Totally Lame Anime lost a whole hour.
Hour and a half.
Yeah, due to tech problems. And so it was cut really short, which sucked. And then Anime Hell had tech problems too, so like the video was kind of skipping it, so they kept trying to stop it and like fix it. And then like it just eventually got to the point where it was just like whatever, and you could tell people had started to leave because it was just, irritating sitting there through it. So
that was bad.
It was bad. I mean, at least what we saw of both of those was good though. Like there were some really crazy things on Anime Hell, like the Attack on Titan's cat thing that they
Oh man, I forgot about that.
Oh no,
that was so awesome.
Yeah, and then like they had like all these different like commercials, various things that had come out over there that were pretty good.
What was that USB lighter thing?
Oh shit!
It's like you know how a flash drive looks, and it usually has the cap on the end, which you take it off and then you put it into the thing. Well, this was like, it had a switch in the middle of the flash drive. And when you push the switch, it pulled down this thing, and there's a fucking cigarette lighter, like, heat coil in the fucking USB flash drive. So it's like, what the fuck?
Oh my goodness. See, this is a wonderful, this is something wonderful. So someone needs to do a cosplay of, what was his name?
It was called J-I-I.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right.
Because what they would do is they do things like OPQRST, USB, USB, USB.
Yeah.
And it's like this weird fucking commercial.
I love USB.
Yeah. Like, I literally, like, I don't smoke, but I want one of those after that commercial. So it did its job.
You need it for a cosplay of the guy from, was it Saturday Night Live? The tech guy? What's his name?
Oh, Nick Burns.
Nick Burns.
Yeah.
So you have that, and you do the move, and you fix it, and then you pull out your USB that you just used to fix it with your program, and then you light a cigarette, and you just sit down.
That would be awesome. Good thinking. God damn. But that did suck, though, man, because, like, half of the stuff from Totally Lame Anime was gone that we didn't even get to see. We didn't even get to see the bye-bye, and, well, hopefully next year it'll be better.
And most of what he showed was shit you see every year. Like, there was very little new stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, there was
He
some.
showed more of Frankenstein.
He did, which was some good. Oh,
I had no idea it was that fucked up and bloody.
Yeah. But, so I think that was Friday. Was there anything else that went on? Like, I think Friday, I ended up going back to the hotel room before you. Oh, yeah, because I went back to go to sleep, but you guys went and got food.
Yeah, we went to the 24-hour Chinese place in Macon, which, for anybody who does, or in Atlanta, for anybody who doesn't know, there used to be a place there a long time ago called the Chinese Buddha, and it closed. But it just recently reopened in a slightly different location because they remodeled the place, and it's fucking great. So there is 24-hour Chinese food in Atlanta, if you didn't know that, for any reason. And it's on 10th Street. So we went there for like $10. You get a giant plate of Chinese food. It was really good. I'm real picky about Chinese food these days because the two best places in Macon closed and all the other ones fucking suck. But this place is really good, so we did that. And let's see, Saturday was was Jacob and I became the Toshio Maeda fanboys. Mm-hmm. I was Nin Nin and he was Amino Jaku. And surprisingly enough, we were recognized by quite a few people. And it was awesome. We had some pictures taken, got into some good conversations and stuff. And the high point for me was I was like, I'll be happy if I get one picture because La Blue Girl is not exactly a very popular anime, but it is a very popular hentai.
What are you talking about? There was a fan there to talk to you in the bathroom.
Hentai. Hentai is what I'm getting at. So it's got a very small demographic. So I was just expecting people to ask for pictures, but lo and behold, I think it was Gift that pointed it out. He's like, "Look, there's another Nin Nin." And I was like, "What? Holy shit, he's got Miko with him." Mm-hmm. and she has boobs. So immediately I run over there. I'm like, there's no fucking way. You guys are dressed up as Miko and Nin Nin. And she's like, you're Nin Nin too? And I was like, yes. And we all had this little free party. It's like, yay!
Well, truthfully, AWA, like, I'd expect more people to recognize those costumes than with MomoCon, because MomoCon's a lot younger audience. Like, so one thing that I made a comment about while we were there was that, like, there were not that many Homestuck people. Like, I saw a few, but it was nothing like in previous years there or at MomoCon. Like, MomoCon, it basically should have just gone HomestuckCon, because that's what it basically boiled down to. But, like, there were a few people, but, I mean, maybe, you know, a handful. Nothing like in past years.
Two things I got to mention that you just spurred out of my brain before I get back to the original story. Number one, I don't know about you guys, but when I'm laying down to go to sleep, I think of the fucking stupidest things, and it keeps me awake all hours of the night before I finally go to sleep. One of them is I had a moment of Satori, instant enlightenment. I was like, the reason that all these girls have short hair is because they're wearing wigs all the time. It's not because they're all lesbians. They just look like lesbians because they're all wearing wigs for all of their cosplays. Now, whether they're lesbians or not, possibly. But it's definitely, that's the reason, because they all wear wigs. All the ones that I know and have on Facebook anyway.
Oh.
Number two, speaking of Homestuck, Kyle, did you see the thing in the Facebook group about the toilet incident?
No.
Somebody took a poo and wrote with the poo a Homestuck character on the toilet bathroom wall. And then, like, broke the toilet. So they took the shit to draw on the wall a Homestuck character, and then fucked up the toilet and left.
At the convention or how?
At the convention.
That's fucked up. I knew there's a reason
Yes.
I don't like those people to touch me or come anywhere near me.
It's weird because I don't understand them. They just look like candy corn aliens to me. I don't know what the thing is. They never really bother me. They're just like, oh, look, there's all those kids again.
Yeah, I read something about it, and it's kind of like it was.
They're trolls, right?
Yeah, I don't really know.
Obviously, if they're shitting and drawing characters back in toilets.
The thing is like a lot of the stuff that you see people dressing up as, it's not really canon stuff. It's really open world, do your own thing with, and people just kind of, oh, they're gray with these horns that are this color. Let's just do whatever with it. So like, it's really weird to me. Like something just got really big, and it's like an age disconnect, because it's not just like us or like this is weird. Everybody over a certain age are like, I don't fucking get those people.
Yeah.
So it's just an age disconnect with it. But
except for Rick, because he's older than us and he likes it.
well, I don't know. But there was like very few people compared to previous years dressed in those costumes that I saw, which was happy. But there were a lot of like, I made me really happy to see characters that like you don't see a lot of. Like there were a lot of Studio Ghibli characters, and there were a lot of like JoJo's Bizarre Adventure people.
Which, they even had a full photo shoot.
Yeah, I was like, oh, I have hope for this generation. Glory. I have hope for them.
Yes, absolutely. That was good to see. But I have to mention this about Nin Nin before we move forward. It was like a husband-wife couple cosplay. So number one, that's automatically fucking lovely and adorable. But number two, she had made his whole Nin Nin outfit, and she made a little Nin Nin doll that she would hold with her. So there was actually 3 Nin Nins there. But on his mask, he had 3 sets of eyes that he could pull down. Regular yellow eyes, heart eyes, and then the little like curl upside down cutesy eyes.
Oh yeah.
And I'm just like, this is fucking remarkable. And she's like, yeah, it took us a long time to come along with it. And I was like, well, you did a great job. Can I have a picture? And bless her heart, she put her titty right on my head when we took that picture. And my day went from spectacular to God tier. In that one moment.
To God hand?
To God hand.
Man, what a fucking great game that was.
Oh, I was referring to the Berserk God hand.
Oh,
Griffith
that's different. I thought you were talking about the game God hand. I was like, oh, that's awesome.
If you're gonna grind, that's for sure.
So, I'm trying to think what else happened on Saturday. So,
Kokoro Yume girls.
Yeah, we hung out with them, or we followed them around, I guess, for a while. Like, you were hanging out with them, and we kind of were talking and stuff. One thing that was cool about that was, like, the director of AWA saw them and gave them the card and told them hey, go here and you can get free pictures done professionally. It was kind of like a thank you for cosplaying thing.
Yeah,
that was pretty cool. I didn't know AWA did that.
Yeah, it was fun, man. I wish you guys could have been in the room because we were having so much fun talking about the stuff. The whole room, the floor was these spray painted red egg crates. I don't know why they had them there, but that's where people stood. The backdrop, normally you have a green or white backdrop, with some lights on it. It looked like a giant fucking piece of beef jerky. So the discussion just became they're secretly beef jerky salespeople, and they're trying to sell it to the anime convention people. And we're just going on this big tirade. And it was great because we spent probably a good 2 or 3 hours walking behind 4 beautiful women dressed as Playboy Bunny pinup versions of the DC villains. And man, that's just, in and of itself, that is one of the greatest gifts you can give to yourself. And they're funny. I mean, it's great because they're all super hot, but they're super funny, they're very entertaining, and they're very friendly. Usually all 3 of those don't go together in cosplay.
Yeah. So yeah, they were pretty cool to walk around with. I liked I think Jenny was the one who was Harley Quinn.
Yeah.
She had this giant hammer that she would just drag with her because it was so big. It wasn't heavy, but the greatest thing about that was that while she's dragging it, people walking would almost get hit by it. They just kind of jump around it. It was funny just to watch people try to avoid it. I think it was Saturday also that I walked around with my sister for a bit because she was there. And so I'm walking around with her, or I go to find her, and she tells me through a text that her and her friend are both dressed as people from Attack on Titan. Well, that doesn't really narrow it down because there's a lot of people dressed like that. But I'm like, well, there's 2 of them together. That might make it easier to find. So she's like, we're over by this booth. Okay, I go over there. I don't see her. I'm like, okay, I see. Now, my sister has blondish hair, reddish blonde hair, and I look at her well, I don't see any Attack on Titan people over here. I only see one person. They've got black hair. So I walk around. I'm like, where are you at? She's like, we're still over there. I was like, okay. And I go back, and I'm just looking. I said, the person with black hair turns around, and it's my sister. She had a wig on. I was like, oh, shit, I didn't even recognize you. So
she looked outstanding. That was a great cosplay.
Yeah, and as I'm walking around with her, she was like, I asked her, I was like, so what are you looking to buy? And she's like, oh, well, the last couple times I've come, I've only had $50. So I couldn't buy anything. But this time I bought a ton of money because I'm going to get whatever I want. I'm like, okay. So she wants to go to the K-pop booth, which, whatever. If that's what you're into. So she buys a bunch of K-pop music and things. Then her and her friend are both like, all right, let's go to the Yowie booth now. And so her friend's boyfriend and I were like, okay, so when we get over there, we're standing across from her, nah, man, we can't be over there. We're just going to stand here in this other booth. And we're watching, and they're over there for a long time. And I'm like, what the fuck? So we eventually walk over there, and we're standing behind them, so it's not like we're actually standing at the booth, but we're kind of got our backs turned to them. So it's we're not looking at the booth either. And then finally I asked my sister, what are you getting? She's like, oh, I'm getting all this stuff. And she's got a stack of these things. And the guy's like, all right, that'll be $190. I'm like, $190? She's
That's a new level of pervert right there.
Yeah, and she was like, oh, yeah, well, this stuff is, hard to find. I was like, oh, well, Jesus Christ, $190. I bet it is hard to find for that price.
You sure love dicks and butts, huh?
Yeah. But, yeah, I was just like, God damn, that's a lot of money to spend on a bunch of guys fucking.
To each their own.
Exactly.
I wish you would understand that a lot of pornography is available on the internet for free, but
yeah, I'll tell you what, if you want to find some, you can just go to fanfiction.net. You'll find all the guys fucking you'd ever want to see. But if you don't want to see it, good luck finding something to read.
Exactly.
Good luck finding something to read. Because if 2 people hate each other and they're guys, they want to fuck. If 2 guys are really good friends, they want to fuck. If they've been on the same continent with each other, apparently they want to fuck. You know what? Crossovers, they don't have to be in the same universe. Apparently they want to fuck. I never knew.
They should really change the name of the website to fanfuction.net.
And the thing about it is, you're not even supposed to write those types of stories on that website.
Yeah, they're called lemons. And I don't Well, lemons are weird because it's like reading is just like too much work. I want to see pictures if I'm jerking off. I don't want to read about a woman having sex unless I'm actively partaking, like 1995, AOL chat room.
Oh
cyber
my
sex.
goodness!
But if I'm just reading a story, that's too much fucking work, first of all. Number two, at least warn people that, because I might go in there saying, ooh, Evangelion, awesome. Maybe they'll do a new robot. Nope, they're just going to have the dudes fucking it, which is fine.
See,
warn.
You have to develop this sense. It's like Gator, except for stories. I've got it to such a science, because I do like to read lots of stories, that I can read the summary. The summary says nothing about gay sex. I still know that that's in the story, so I don't have to read it. And to make sure of it, occasionally I will click, and I will look at the first part of it, and I'm like, I was right. That's what it is.
What are these buzzwords that alert you to the dick and booty hole?
There is a style
Dick
of writing.
and asshole. Those are the buzzwords.
No, there's a style of writing that you can tell that's what it's going to be. Now, if someone was really good, if someone was a good enough author, then you might not be able to tell.
Oh, man.
But you don't find many good authors.
I'm imagining now is that there's that one guy who's a really good writer, and he's writing it, and like Shane's like convinced, like, man, this is a legit story. And then somebody's like, fuck her right in the asshole. It's like, God damn it. This
fuck
son
him
of a
right
bitch-
in the asshole.
Yeah, fuck him right in the asshole. This son of a bitch is writing fanfic now. He got it.
So, and it's another thing. It's like, that's fine for people to look, if there's gay people in the story and it's not explicit and they're like, these people are having sex with each other because they're going out with each other and the story's good, I'll read the story. I don't care if there are gay people in the story.
Yeah.
But I don't want a giant story that the entire plot, in quotation marks, is an excuse for these people to fuck.
Speaking of gay people, let's transition to the film that we all enjoyed, Tiger and Bunny. Kyle, why don't you explain a little bit of the summary of Tiger and Bunny to everybody?
Why did you roll to that from gay people?
Because of the dude, the flaming dude, the
Domino's pizza.
literally flaming dude.
Yes.
Oh, okay. Well, so for those who don't know, Tiger and Bunny is basically this anime about this world where people started developing powers, but there's like this superhero TV show that follows them around where they compete for stopping crime.
Yes.
And like they're sponsored, so it's like you have a sponsor that keeps you on the show. Like I think one of them, well, some of them have some actual really big name companies on their chest, like
Pepsi Next,
yeah,
Domino's Pizza, Soft Cell, I think, or whatever the name of that cell phone company is.
Yeah.
Soft cell.
But so like these superheroes are sponsored by these various companies. So like they wear like uniforms that have like, you know, dominoes across the chest or something, and they're doing all these kind of ads, and they're competing to be like the best superhero by who can get there first, who can save people, who can actually arrest the guy. And it follows this kind of, I guess, old, washed up kind of guy who's now being partnered with the young guy to be a duo for the first time. And I thought it was really good.
It is. It was pretty good. I liked it.
Let's go into the characters a little bit because they really kind of made the story for me.
Yeah.
You got the main guy, Tiger, who's half African-American, half Japanese. Apparently he's been in the business for a while, and he's starting to slip up on his game. And he starts losing, and that's kind of how they introduce it. They don't tell him that he's fired, but they're like, well, you're going to be part of a team. And he's like, fuck teams. I work on my own. I'm a dangerous loner. And then a real dangerous loner shows up who ends up being like a Bishonen pretty boy. And I'm like, okay, that's obviously the crazy guy who's going to kill everybody. But no, he just happens to be Batman.
Yeah, that's exactly what I thought as I watched. I was like, oh, Batman, okay.
Bunny Man shows up.
Bunny Man.
And I'm like, why the fuck? Because his name's like...
Barnaby.
Mm-hmm. So they have kind of a, you know, like...
Rivalry.
Yeah. Good cop, bad cop. You know, they're back and forth. They kind of get along. Then, let's see, who else do we have? What was the name of they have a gay African-American man in a pink suit who shoots out flames.
Yes.
Which is equally as forward-thinking as it is blatantly stereotypical.
Here's the thing about that. This is the thing that got me about this anime. That guy's in there. Mm-hmm. And I've seen black people in anime before, but they're either like a main character or they're just some oddball thing that's going on. But I notice as I'm watching it, in the background, like the people like in a crowd or something like that, there are just regular black people just in the crowd. They look completely normal. I've never seen that in an anime. There are just random, like a mixed crowd of people back there. You never see a mixed crowd of people in an anime.
Well,
It was so strange.
I want to say Tiger and Bunny was originally made and kind of marketed more towards an American audience. Like it
that would explain
aired
it.
on Hulu over here. Like I'm pretty sure like it was a Japanese made product, but I think it was more focused towards an American audience.
That would explain it.
That's a very subtle societal clue about how everything's sponsored. That's clever.
That is clever.
I see that. I see what you did there.
What would heroes be like if they were in America? Well, first they had to be part of a corporation and sponsored. That makes sense.
Then you have, I think her name's Rose. I can't remember her superhero name, but she was like the Frost Lady.
Blue Rose.
Blue Rose. She's sponsored by Pepsi. And at first, she says this pun thing that rhymes, and I'm like, yes, she's witty. And then I realize she says the same goddamn thing every time, and I'm like, somebody kill her before she says it
The reason
again.
she does that, though, is because that's what they make her say.
Yeah, that's her catchphrase.
She argues that.
Yeah, she doesn't
Yes.
like it.
She hates it.
Exactly.
They basically pay her to say that. She's like, it's terrible. I don't want to say anymore. They're like, oh, well, you're getting paid, so shut the fuck up and do it.
And she and the Flame Guy kind of have a rivalry because it was the most equal exploitation that I've seen thus far in anime. It showed Rose's butt for about a second and a half, and then it switched immediately to what's his name's butt for a second and a half. So you don't even get a choice. You don't even get a chance to enjoy the full bountiful butt beauty of either one of them because it's just like boom, boom, we're equal. No, I didn't get shit.
I forget his name. What is it?
Kyle, what's his name?
I don't know. I can't remember it. Like the only people's names I remembered were the two main characters, truthfully.
Then you have the Ox guy, who's like his superpower is he can harden his body to metal or something like that. He's super strong, and he's kind of like a slight comic relief character because he's an old man. He's not really very smart, but he is very strong. And he has a really cool like Gundam-esque looking mech that he wears. Mm-hmm. So he's
power suit,
a power suit, and he's kind of buddies with the Tiger guy. They're kind of friends. And
Fire Emblem is his name.
Fire Emblem. That's it.
That's a great video.
And that guy's name is
It
Rock
is.
Bison.
Rock Bison.
Yep.
So Rock Bison and Tiger are kind of buddies. My personal favorite is Origami Cyclone.
Yeah.
He is a Russian guy who strives to be like a samurai and a ninja at the same time, apparently. And like his thing is he undersells himself. So he's like he just gets so happy if he's in the background of one of the other character shots. He's like, oh, thank God, I made it into the background.
Well, that goes back to the corporations, too, because they pay him to be... They tell him he needs to be in every scene. Mm-hmm. So whether or not he's doing anything, they don't care. They just want him there because it's product placement.
And when he's out of the suit, he's got, like, this amazing comic relief, like, I'm a very serious Japanese warrior. But he's quite... obviously blonde. And he is not a warrior at all. There's a scene where he's throwing ninja stars, and out of like 17, none of them even hit the fucking,
giant hail bale.
And no one pays any attention to him either. He's just like there in the background talking and saying all this really deep shit, and everyone's just ignoring him and saying other stuff.
And like you notice little things that they put in, like everybody will be walking out of a room and he'll be creeping up the wall like a ninja.
Yeah.
It's like it's such a clever character. It's so goddamn funny on so many levels. And
I'm trying to think. There's also
Dragon Kid
and Sky High are the other two.
Dragon Kid was a girl, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Thought so.
The one that's when she's not in her costume, she runs around dressed like Bruce Lee.
Yeah. Yeah, that was awesome.
Which makes sense for the name Dragon Kid, I guess.
Right.
And Sky High was kind of like the leader of everything, but it's funny because you find out that he's not really all that without his suit. He's kind of a dumbass without his suit.
Yeah.
But when he puts that suit on, he gets straight to business, which was great. And then they all kind of fight each other, for whatever. And then they come across this guy who is super badass, but he has one weakness. He's wearing fucking rollerblades. And that takes all of your cool away instantly. Unless you're playing roller hockey, which even that's a little bit, you lose all cool points for wearing rollerblades.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, I don't know if you're aware of this, but there is a Jackie Chan movie where he has that exact same outfit on. And I bet that's where they got it from. Because the guy's a thief. In it, Jackie Chan is a thief and he's stealing these things. And he puts it in a backpack and he's escaping with like some kind of art thing because he's an art collector. And he does this whole big scene where he's doing this like luge suit thing where he's escaping from people.
That was Army of God, wasn't it?
No, well, he might have been in that too.
Chinese Zodiac?
Chinese Zodiac, that's the one.
What year was that?
Might be newer. Yes, newer.
God damn it, Jackie Chan. You know better than to wear rollerblades after 1997.
See?
Well, if anybody can do it, it's like when you choose Saberwolf on Killer Instinct and you give him a pink shirt. Who's going to tell him otherwise?
But I think that's where the character's from because he stole artwork too.
But there was all these little clever things and they had to kind of work as a team, which was cool. But it was really enjoyable. Like, I had heard a lot about it and it's always been on the back burner. Yeah, I'm going to watch it. I'm going to watch it. And then I finally saw it and I was like, fuck it. I'm watching it today. I'm going to go there early and I'm going to watch it. And I really enjoyed it.
Yeah.
It was awesome.
Because that was the last thing we did. Well, that was the last thing I did was we went to that on Sunday morning / afternoon and watched that. And then I dipped after that. I want to add one more thing. To all of the people who we met who were like, oh my God, I love listening to you guys. Thank you.
So much.
So much. Because I think a lot of times we're just like, yeah, we're just doing this. And there's probably like maybe one person listening.
Yeah. That was my response when Kyle told me about it.
Yeah.
We talked on Wednesday. He's like, yeah, we made a whole bunch of people that said, oh yeah, I like listening to your podcast. And I was like, what?
Yeah. Yeah. No, wait, are you kidding? Who paid you to say that?
Yeah. So
It was so fun hanging out with Ishman, dude. He had good stories. He's a funny dude. It was especially fun to hang out with him because he talks a lot on the Facebook. We knew that he listened, so that was cool. But man, just all of you, thank you.
Yeah.
Because we really think that we just do this for ourselves and like 2 people. Because we have no idea. This just goes out into download land and it just shows up.
yeah, for real. And for those of you who said you listen and you don't, well, fuck you for lying to me. No one likes a goddamn liar. And you know what? You're not going to hear me say fuck you because you're not listening anyway, so it doesn't matter. But I said it just because it makes me feel better. But for those of you who really do listen, awesome. Keep up the good work. You get a gold star today.
If you like it, please tell 2 friends who might also like it. Anything involving stories of dick touching, bad breath, or fire alarms.
And some anime. I mean, we talked about that.
And some anime.
I like how whenever we talk about conventions, like 9 out of 10, we barely really talk about what the convention's about. We just talk about all the other shit that goes on during it.
Oh, quick fat kid shame moment. I ate an entire pack of High Chew Cherry by myself, with the exception of giving one to Jacob.
Fuck that. Jacob ate like 2 packs. And like...
That fat son of a bitch.
Yes.
That fucking obese shit.
Yeah, I mean, like, these 2 guys buy, like, packs of High Chew, and, like, Jacob's just, like, one after another, just shoveling them in, just like there's no tomorrow. And then, like, after about an hour, he's like, I just ate all those High Chew. I'm like, God damn.
It's like, as soon as you bite into it, it's like, this is such a weird texture. And then you hit the flavor, and you're like, oh, my God. God's in heaven.
They're like now-relators that don't suck.
Yes, exactly. It's like a chewy, bonkers-esque, Starburst-esque, delicious, creamy fruit chew.
But you know what's even,
and it gives you delicious fruit breath as well.
What's even crazier is like one of my sister's friends. He bought like a whole case of melon bread while there.
Yeah, melon pan.
Evidently, that's like something he does at every one of these conventions he goes to, and they sell that. He's just give me a case, just a whole fucking case. And they're like, yeah, they'll be gone in like a week. I'm like, shit.
That shit's really good though. I had some with chocolate chips in it when I was in Japan. It's fucking amazing. Yes.
But yes.
Try some next year.
So thank all of you who listen. It means a lot, especially when we get to meet you and hang out with you and talk with you and just have like some really good stories and everything. So it's good to put like faces and like voices to people who we see talk on Facebook and YouTube and stuff all the time.
And they say shit to us and we're like, did we say that? When the fuck did we say that?
Yeah. Like when people were like, oh, I really like that episode. I was like, oh man, yeah, I forgot all about that. That was I had a moment, though. I got to bring this back. When Mr. Ishman was with us, and he got to see me at my full force when that fucking bitch kept walking by and yelling at us.
I forgot about this.
So, like, we're okay. This is an extra long episode for you guys. So, we're standing, obviously not in a line. There is a line for some event, but we are obviously not in it. But the security, who has to be the loudest, most fucking passive-aggressive people ever, keeps walking by yelling, if you're not in a single-file line, you're not getting in. I know that she's yelling at us. But
we were the only ones standing out of line.
Exactly, but because she's too passive-aggressive, wants to avoid confrontation, she's not saying anything to us directly. She instead is just yelling it into the ether, while everybody else is in the line who's going in. So finally, I don't even remember what I yelled. It was just one of those, just like...
I do.
What did I yell?
I'm not standing in line! Leave me alone!
Okay. I was just like...
Just like that.
It was getting on my nerves.
Leave me alone. Get off my lawn, you little bastards!
And something similar happened, too, at one point. We were walking down that hallway where they make you, like, you have to go outside to come back in. And we were coming in towards the hotel rather than to the convention area. And, like, we had stopped for something really quickly. And there's literally, it's not like there's a lot of traffic in the hallway at this time. And this person walked through and was like, you can't stop and take pictures in here. And just yells it at us.
Yeah, like we were taking pictures.
Yeah.
You just want a knee-jerk reaction, be like, you can't talk to me like that.
I made a comment, like, because the AWA put up this thing, like, so what did you like, what didn't you like? And my comment was, one, the tech issues were out of control. Like, the three major panels, not like, here's one that's going to have, like, 20 people, but here's one that's going to fill an entire ballroom. 3 of those like that had tech issues, to me, that were just unfounded, that they would let them go on that long. I was like, but the other issue is security. I was like, up until this year, I never really felt like AWA had a security problem, not like Dragon Con did. But man, this year, I was just like, listen, all these little fat girls who want to be in security so they can yell at people, just tell them no next year and just put them in, like, registration.
To be fair, it was fat girls and frat boys.
That's true. There were a lot of bros.
Man, those girls, man, had the worst. It's like,
If you're not in line, make sure you get in line.
See, I'm going to say that, though, with the bros.
shaky.
Whenever the bros would say something, though, they were generally fairly nice to people when they said it. Like, one time I was sitting somewhere, and the guy's like, hey, man, you don't really want people sitting on the marble. I'm like, okay, that's cool. I got off. That's all there was to it. He wasn't yelling at me. He just said, hey, could you please get off? All right. Another time when you guys were in there getting the pictures taken, Evan, when we were standing along the rail, there was 2 girls sitting along the wall plugging their phones up. And one of the security frat guys walked by, and he was like, hey, it's kind of getting late on Saturday, and these hallways will get kind of busy. So if you could just move to one of the outcropped areas where there's a lot more room so you won't kind of be in the way, that'd be great. And they're like, oh, okay. They nicely spoke to the people and asked them to do something rather than walking up and yelling in the most high-pitched, shrill voice possible like a fucking harpy.
To be fair, let me take that back. The frat guys were nice. Who was not nice was the king of the frat guys, wannabe Justin Timberlake. The motherfucker with the headpiece on who was telling everybody what to do.
Yeah.
He was a piece of shit.
Yeah.
He was a real piece. You joke that I'm a piece of shit. Of course I'm not. That guy really was 100% a piece of shit. Mm-hmm. He acted like he was about 5'4". Okay. He acted like he was 7 feet tall and made of muscle.
Well, when I heard, like, Thursday night, I think, or it was Friday morning, one of those 2 days, I heard one of the security people standing at doors letting people in say, I quote, I like being security. It lets me tell people what to do. That is the wrong fucking mentality. You should not be on security. You should be stuck in the back room, like, serving cookies in the fucking suite where no one's going to see you.
Cookies in the suite.
You know, you should be doing registration and stuffing the goodie bags they give to people because you don't need to be doing security because you have the wrong mentality for it. You have the Dragon Con mentality of security, which is I'm just going to scream at everybody because I'm a fucking horrible person. So, oh man, what a way to bring it down.
So let's end it on something good. Next year is going to be great because all of the bullshit that we sat through this year is damn sure going to be fixed because we can't be the only people who said something about it. So, you know, right now they're like, where the fuck is Jimmy? He was in charge of the IT bullshit. I don't care that his wife's out on maternity leave. He has to get his fucking shit together, and he has to fucking get things together because people can't be walking out of my fucking totally lame anime.
I've already taken care of it, Evan. Someone's going to walk in there. The shit's not going to work. He's like, move. He's going to fix it. He's going to take out his USB lighter and light his fucking cigarette. It's handled.
I love USB. And that's how you bring it back up, ladies and gentlemen.
All right, folks. So, until next time, I'm Kyle.
Until next time, I'm Evan.
And I made it into the background.
Origami Psycho!